Hi, I'm Doug, and this is my son Robert,
Yes, indeed.
who is a recent high school graduate. And we are going to talk about something we've partnered with Men+Care about, how to talk to your teenagers about their mental health.
Yes.
And this has been an ongoing conversation for a while, just because your high school career has been typical in many ways in terms of what it's like to be an adolescent in this climate. And I think one of the first things when you do talk about mental health with your kids, the first thing you have to establish is that it exists. It's an important thing to maintain. It's as important as your physical health, and it's an opportunity to be vulnerable, which is a good thing and a bad thing. So if you lay the groundwork for a dialogue about that, with an appreciation for all those things in that particular context, I think at least you lay the groundwork for a dialogue that can be productive, especially when a teenager decides it's safe to come to you and feels like it's a topic to take seriously enough to say, "Hey, Dad, let's chat about this."
That's really important. It's really important to have people in your corner that you can tell everything, and they don't necessarily need to understand, but they need to acknowledge and just listen, and I think that that's really important.
That's another big part of that too. I think number two is to recognize that feelings are valid, and the response when anyone says, "I feel this," is never to deny that. I think that's just, if you get in the habit of denying your kid's feelings, then either he or she won't share them with you anymore, or they'll really start to doubt who they are as somebody and if their own feelings are valid. And that's never a situation you want to be in, and that affects boys and girls equally. And I think when you're in the thrall of a thought like that, the main thing to consider after that is to recognize that not only is the illness there, but there is also help. The fact is, this is something that can be treated just like anything physical. You know, if you need to sit on someone's couch for a while who's been professionally trained to understand how your thought processes are happening. And both he and I have done that. He's been to a therapist, I've been to a therapist, and it's helped. It's helped a great deal. So I think if you do feel as though you're despairing, despair is one of those emotions that tends to multiply on itself, because you are unaware that this despair is something you can work your way out of with the right people in your corner. I mean, would you say, how did you leave it with your therapist once you were done with that time?
I felt as though I'd reached a point where I'd talked out all of my feelings, and rather than staying and talking about them, it was important to act on the things that I'd learned. And so we basically mutually agreed that I was through with my course of therapy, and it was very nice.
And that's, I think, if you can walk away from that in a position where you feel as though you acknowledge you had a problem, you availed yourself of the resources that you had at your disposal, and that activity was productive, that's going to lay the groundwork for any other problems that you encounter in your life. You recognize that rather than feel trapped by a situation, it always helps to at least try to recognize there's a way out of all of them if you maintain the desire to work through it, and you know you have people in your corner who believe in you, who understand what you're going through, will listen to you unconditionally, as I hope to for many years to come. And hopefully then we'll grow to get to a point where they can pass that on and be that resource to someone else.